Hello, and I am Sara Runyans with eXp Realty. This is Hyperlocal in Huntsville, Alabama. And I'm just going to tell you right now, I've been struggling a little bit with laryngitis. My last interview I did early, it was pre-laryngitis. And now this is kind of post getting better from the laryngitis, but I can talk and I'm not just whispering. So that's a good thing. I am so excited today to bring the guest that we have to you. Her name is Jennifer Grant, and she is someone who's been in the real estate industry here in the Huntsville, Alabama area for a long time. And yet I am only just getting to know this gem of a person. And she had the way I got to know Jennifer is she has a real estate agent Facebook group called Real Estate Agent Rockstars. And she puts so much wonderful content out there for us. She is a smart lady. She is fascinating in so many ways on a personal level and on a professional level. And so I want us to dive into this interview today and help you to meet Jennifer, to learn a little bit about what I'm learning. And as I'm learning about her, I will just tell you, I am growing in my respect for her and trust of her as a professional. So, Jennifer, thank you for coming and joining us today.
Glad to be here.
So I'm gonna stop crackling here, and I'm going to let you just tell us a little bit about yourself and what you do. It can be personal, it can be professional. Just I'm going to let you go.
Okay, so I am lots of things, of course. Women everywhere, we wear lots of hats. I'm a mom,
Mhm.
and I am a lender. I am a traveler and a writer at heart. Like I'm a gypsy vagabond somewhere in my heart in here. But as far as business, it is all about mortgage. Tell people I am the mortgage ninja, and often get known as the fixer when somebody has something crazy that nobody else can do. And I'm like, okay, we'll call her. It's easier when they just call me to begin with, and then we don't have to fix it. It's right to begin with. So I have enjoyed all of the years in real estate that I have spent. I started, of course, as a real estate agent, cut my teeth as a brand new baby agent as an on-site builder's rep. So I worked in new construction for a period of time, both on the sales end and the corporate end. Managed large general real estate teams, worked in general real estate for a little while, was a national level coach for a period of years, and made the shift to lending just right about 6 years ago in June, coming up on that anniversary. It has been kind of a wild ride, but it's been a good time, and it's still a good time. So we're still having fun.
That is great. I was a school teacher, master's degree in education, all that, never thinking I would go into real estate, but then it was 7 years ago. So I've been in real estate as an agent just a tad bit longer than you've been a lender, but I have really enjoyed just the multifaceted nature of real estate. And it seems like you're that kind of person too. So, so tell me, I know it's hard sometimes to evaluate yourself and put it out there, but what are some of your unique qualities and experiences that set you apart in your industry?
I think it is my realtor background, because let's back up. The whole reason I
Sure,
became a
yeah.
lender was to solve some problems that I saw from the realtor perspective. And I was like, okay, why does this not work? Because they promise us this and this and this and this, and then it doesn't happen, or it happens for just a minute and then it falls off. Is it possible to work a different way to fix those problems? I'm an operations brain by nature of, find the right gears and the right kind of grease and put the right cogs in the right place to make process flow more smoothly. And that's what I did. And when I made the decision that I really was thinking about moving, I'm like, okay, let's quantify what doesn't work, both from the realtor perspective and from the buyer perspective. And the number one thing I kept coming back to was communication. And I'm like, okay, that's a consistent problem. There's got to be a reason why. So I looked at why. And, once I learned how overly stretched most loan officers were, it made total sense. There just are not enough hours in the day for all the hats that they wear. And I'm like, okay. how can we fix that? Because I wasn't going to do it to be as bad at it as other people were.
Mhm.
If I
Mhm.
couldn't improve on it in some way, there really wasn't any incentive for me to make that change. So, I tell everybody, of course, as a coach, I tell all my realtors even that you should really have a 3-word tagline, and mine is communication, knowledge, consistency. Those are the things that I think make me very different. It is rarely more than 15 minutes before I return a call to somebody. If I ever have to return it, a lot of realtors I have worked with for years have never heard my voicemail because I answer my phone when they call me, or I text them and say, hey, I'm in something. I'll call you after. I'm on a call. I'll call you after, whatever. That I think is kind of what makes the difference. They know I'll answer the phone, and my buyers are the same.
That's so important. It is so important. It's so hard these days because people screen their calls and all of that. But in our industry, we have to pick up the phone, whether you're an
100%.
agent, a lender. So that's so important.
Well, and I work with a lot of military service members returning
Mhm.
home from different places around the world. And if they're in
Mhm.
Germany, if they're in Japan, wherever they may be,
Mhm.
Guam sometimes,
Mhm.
their phone numbers may come up as suspected spam or phone
Mhm.
number unknown or whatever. And if it does turn out to be a spam call, we're about to have a really good time for a minute because I'm going to have
Yeah.
fun with that. And who knows, maybe they want to buy a house.
Right. That's true. Well, yes, and those spam calls, I literally yesterday I had 12 spam calls. 12, and I'm on the DNC list, so I don't
Mhm.
know. I don't know. Anyway, but it is what it is. We filter through those. So here's a question that I'm going to ask, and I ask a lot of people, and that is, what is your favorite thing about your business?
The opportunity to solve problems, because at the end of the day, I am a professional solution provider. I think all of us in the real estate
Mhm.
industry, if you
Mhm.
edit out everything else, we are professional solution providers. And my focus is always, always, always on solving the problem of the person in front of me, period.
Okay.
That's what my focus
Yes.
is. And
Okay.
that's a good
Excellent.
time. I like those problems and having that opportunity.
Yes. I enjoy that too. And I think that that is so uh, important for people to understand that, when you hire a professional in the real estate industry, whether it be an agent or a lender, we're looking at multifaceted situations. And there's no one cut and dry way to do things sometimes. And so we're trying to find a way to make things work and to best serve our clients and customers. So that is so very good. And it actually is fun, isn't it? Finding those solutions. Okay. And so now thinking back, well, you've highlighted some of the things that you've done in the past. Could you tell us a little bit more about your background, maybe, and what it is that uh, helps you to have the skills that you have to do what you do?
It's just experience and
Okay.
repetition and overseeing lots and lots and lots of purchases for homes
Mm-hmm.
and sales for homes because, like you
Mm-hmm.
said, they can be very different. But
Mm-hmm.
you may have something right now that you haven't had before, but you had this that one time and that one time and that other time 5 years ago. That
Mm-hmm.
somewhere between the three of those is the
Mm-hmm.
right secret sauce to make this one work or to be able to
Exactly.
get through this one.
Hmm. That's so good. So reflecting on your journey, what moment or achievement are you most proud of in your business?
I think every single family that I manage to help put into a home, everyone,
Okay.
there is no one that stands out over
Yes.
any other
Hmm.
one.
Hmm.
I am a firm believer that home ownership is for everybody.
Hmm.
And sometimes it's a longer journey than others to get there. And we might
Hmm.
be with somebody 2, 3, 4, 5 years to get
Hmm.
them there. But even if it's super fast, that's the best day, always, that we were able to
Okay.
match a family with a home.
Excellent. Excellent. I think that in today's economy, there are people that they feel like, well, you know what, home ownership is not going to be for us. It's just going to be renting forever. And that's so discouraging to me. And yet, knowing what I know on our side of the industry, there are ways to make it happen. Even if maybe people feel like they're put out of that. So I think I would encourage people to talk to a real estate agent, talk to a lender, talk to Jennifer, talk to someone and okay, I want you to do this. The other day you had a little talk about you don't know what you don't know. Could you give us just a little snippet of that to help us to understand the importance of seeking out information?
Absolutely. Especially on the lending side, there is so much wrong information that's out there. And if you ever monitor like a Facebook community group or whatever, somebody will say, oh, I want to buy a house, have no idea where to start. A million people will jump in and 80% of the information is outright wrong. Or it's biased in some way, or it's not specific to that person or whatever. And this is a time when, sure, absolutely, they can reach out to a realtor, but the person they need to talk to is a lender. Unless they're actively looking for a house right now, they need to talk to a lender to start figuring out, okay, what do my ducks even look like? Because I can't put them in a row if I don't know what they look like and I can't go find them. So it is never too early. If somebody knows it's going to be 5 years before they're going to be ready to buy a home, great, let's talk today. Let's go ahead and have that conversation. You're not going to send in documents. We're not going to run credit. We're not going to do any of those not fun things. What we are going to do is talk about your situation and things that you're dealing with, things that need to be worked on, what your savings goals need to be, things like that. So that we can at least give them a solid game plan of what they need to know. We can't make them do it. They have to want to do it.
Right.
But we can give them a solid game plan of what they need to do to end up with the result that they want.
Very good. Yeah, I would have to so agree with that, even from a real estate perspective, that sometimes people think they've got to have all their ducks in a row before they go to the professional who can
Right.
tell them, hey, these are the ways you should get your ducks lined up so
Right.
that you're
And those ducks
ready.
don't matter, but these ducks are more important.
Exactly. Very true. Okay. Now, before we get into our final questions, I just want on a more personal level, you enjoy travel. So what is it that inspired you to want to travel? Tell us a little bit about your interest in travel.
I am a bookworm, and I have always been a bookworm. I grew up in a very
Mhm.
small town in Tennessee,
Mhm.
just south of Franklin, and I'm an only child, so you have to entertain yourself.
Mhm.
And I read everything all the time. And I remember sitting in the travel corner of the public library in our town and looking through all of these travel books and reading, travel journals and memoirs and all of these things. And there are interesting things everywhere. And some of them are in our own backyard. And
Mhm.
I definitely encourage people to be a tourist where you live. Look how many day trips there are from where you live for things you've never been to or haven't seen, or that
Exactly.
cute little restaurant that's been there since the 40s that you have never even heard of. There are lots of
Mhm.
things like that out there. It doesn't have to be far flung on the other side of the world. It can literally be in your own backyard. But I think it is seeing the difference in how people live and the experiences, meeting and talking with those people and approaching that experience from a place of humility that we can learn something from every single person that we come in contact with. And I love stories more than anything in the world. And that's what I collect. I'll come back from a trip and people are like, oh, what'd you buy? And I'm like, nothing. I probably ate it if I bought it. Because I don't shop, I collect stories and I talk to
Mhm.
everybody. The lady who sells flowers on the corner, the taxi driver, I talk to all the people.
Well, maybe you need to write a book. That's what you need to do about some of the
In my
stories you've
spare time,
collected.
sure.
Um, so if there's one thing you'd like our audience to take away from this interview about you, your business, or just your life, what would it be?
Don't, first of all, don't ever turn down a good story. If you have an opportunity to do something and it's going to at least be a good story, even if it goes badly, sometimes particularly if it goes badly, it's a better story, do it. Like just do it. And the other is very much a philosophy our family follows, which is bloody well get on with it, which is, if you have something that you need to do and you have time to do it now, just do it now. Because then it's done. It makes you way more productive. It frees up all this bandwidth in your head that you can then use to focus on way more fun things than remembering
Mhm.
that thing that you need to do. And
Mhm.
the other is to don't ever think that anything is out of reach for you. It might take longer to get there than your neighbor, your sister, your bestie, whoever, but don't think it's out of reach for you just because it's going to take you longer. And look for the people who can maybe help you put those rungs of the ladder in place to help you get there.
Okay, excellent. That is such excellent information and advice. And, I could literally talk to you for an hour easily, but we don't have that much time today. So, what I want our audience to know is how can they reach you? And we will also put this in the link, put links in the YouTube video so that they can reach you there. But tell us
Okay.
verbally.
Well, I'm super easy. I use my cell number. I've had the same number for 25 years. I think everybody has it at this point, which is 256-468-7328. Or they can reach me by email at Jennifer, two N's, jennifer.grant@movement.com. They can also find me on Facebook. They're welcome to reach out and send me a Facebook message. Respond to those all the time.
Okay, awesome. You and I have the same exact phone number except for 3 numbers. So 256-468-7614. So very close. Anyway, well, Jennifer, it has been a delight. And I hope to get to chat with you again soon, related to business or otherwise. So have a great day. And thank you so much for joining me today.
Thank you for having me. Have a fabulous day.
You too. Bye-bye.